What's up, guys? Welcome back to Airbnb ABCs. I manage 3 cabins in the Smoky Mountains, and I manage them from about 4.5 hours away, about 220 miles or so, and I do not use a property management company. I self-manage them all by myself, and I have a team in place that helps me manage them. And if you guys are out there looking to get into short-term rentals and you are looking at how you're going to be able to do this, because a lot of times you're looking at vacation areas like the Smoky Mountains, like the Gulf Coast of Florida, and you live in Cincinnati or somewhere in Wisconsin or Nebraska, and you're nowhere near these things, you're thinking, how can I do this on my own without having another company that's going to come in and take care of all of this? And the thing that you really need to think about with this, and this goes with any type of investment or really anything in your life, is that nobody is going to take care of your investments, of your cabins, of pretty much anything better than you are going to do it. And so today I'm going to tell you guys how I manage these from afar and how I make much more money doing it and end up with a much better product in the end, because I am the one, looking over this and making sure that everything is in order. So, all I ask you in return, guys, is you hit the like button for me and subscribe down below, and, we're going to get right into it. First up, you're going to make more money. And I get to this right away in this video because I know that that's what everyone wants to do if they're investing in short-term rentals or really investing in anything. You want to make money. The biggest part of this is that you're probably going to be able to charge higher rates than the local management company is going to charge. And that may sound counterintuitive because you're going to be paying these folks to market your place, and you would assume that they would be trying to get the most for your nightly rate. The thing is that for one, their goal is to fill the calendar at a rate that's reasonable, because they're looking to get their booking fee, which is they get 100% of that booking fee every time that they take a booking. None of it goes to you, it all goes to them. And also, going back to no one takes care of your place better than you will, you are going to be able to strategically adjust your prices to the highest amount that you're going to be able to rent this for in any given time frame. That might be overall, you may be able to do, 10, 15% better than what the management companies would do. And it also allows you to, just pick nights and say, I think this one's going to be, worth a lot more, and raise that rate up. Now, getting to that percentage, you are not going to pay a percentage to a management company for the luxury of them renting your place out. And a lot of management companies start at 10% on the very low end, all the way up to about 30%. And sometimes when you're evaluating these properties, you'll find that you really only have about 30% of the gross revenue after you pay everything, pay your taxes, pay your mortgage, pay all the people that you need to pay. You may only have about 30% left over. So if you have to give away 10 to 30% of your gross to have a management company, you may not really make any money on the front end, on the cash flow end, at the end of the day. Management companies are also famous for charging for what I like to call BS maintenance fees. I've heard from people who have had management companies that there are more maintenance items that come up in any given month than when they end up going to self-management. And so not only are you going to pay for this maintenance item, for whatever it is, and I found that like typical maintenance stuff is like $170, $150 to about $250 just for like a handyman to come out and fix things. Then they're going to charge you their fee on top of that, because they've basically brokered this handyman or electrician or plumber between, you and them. And so you're going to be charging markup of XYZ amount that you wouldn't otherwise be doing if you just got on the phone and called them directly. They're also not going to charge a booking fee if they are not involved in the process whatsoever. And those fees can vary, but they are going to charge a booking fee. And so the rent to the guest is going to be higher because they are charging a booking fee versus if they had just purchased or rented through you directly, because a lot of these companies still advertise on Airbnb, VRBO, and they charge a management fee on top of what VRBO is charging, on top of a cleaning fee. And so with these fees that go 100% to the rental company, not to you, they are also getting your 30%, and so your guests are being charged more, you are actually making less, and your place is probably going to have more maintenance issues and worse guests, which is what we're going to get into next. If you self-manage your properties, there's a good likelihood that you are going to get much better guests. And the reason for this is that these rental management companies, they just want anyone to rent the place. They want to find as many warm bodies as they can stuff into your cabins or your beach homes or whatever, and they want to be able to take their 30% off the top and charge them the management fee. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to go out of their way to put bad folks in there, but they are definitely not going to be as careful with your property when they have 100 to 200, 300 properties that they all need to get filled up. It just goes back to that you're going to take better care of your place than, you know, somebody else is going to. Plus, you can kind of screen guests a little bit. You can set your prices higher than maybe they would go for, so that lesser quality guests, don't rent your place. It's been my experience that essentially the more people spend, and this is my experience plus the experiences of others, that in general they take better care of the places. You can also influence someone to stay or not. You know, if we get someone that has a lot of questions, they sound like they're going to be a pain in the butt, they sound like they're going to, just not be a guest that we want at our place, we will actually just give them answers that they don't want to hear. They're usually truthful, but they are just answers that they don't want to hear, so we kind of encourage them not to book our place and leave those dates open for someone who we do want to stay in the cabin, in the beach house or whatever, because they are very highly in demand properties. There's someone that's going to come along and pick them up. This is sort of that abundance mindset versus limited mindset. If you have a great place, there's always going to be someone that's going to come along and it will rent your place that you want renting your place. So when you have a property management company on versus self-managing, you'll find in general, and this is again my experience and the experiences of folks that I network with, that your place stays nicer overall. This is going to be because you're probably going to be getting better guests who are paying more, so they're not doing damage to the place, but you also get to hire your own people. When you're working with a management company, you are kind of at the mercy of whoever they have hired, whoever they've hired this week, whoever they've been able to find to work for the rock bottom wages that we find people paying these folks. I found cleaners cleaning our places when we purchased places from management companies that were only getting paid $65, $75 total for the clean. And, now we're paying $130, $140 a clean. And so, you're going to just get a better quality of housekeeping out of that, much higher pay than you are of the lower amount of pay, in general. Obviously, if someone has pride in their work, they'll do a great job no matter what, but the person probably getting paid $140 is going to be doing better than the $65. You're also going to be able to hire your own handyman. You're not going to have to pay a maintenance handling fee on that. And the best part is that these folks are just 100% responsible to you. So if there is something that comes up, if there is a problem, they know that they are going to be talking to the end customer and not to some middle person who, again, is looking after hundreds of properties and really isn't going to care, really isn't going to give them the feedback other than, hey, you need to do better. The owner's mad, but, let's just keep on keeping on. So if you're watching this and you're looking at a place that's a couple hundred miles away or even, 30, 40 minutes away is a decent amount of time that you can't be, going back and forth there all the time, you're probably wondering, how is this possible? How do you manage these things from a long way away and, do this successfully over and over again every single day? And, when we look at our operation, we are doing hundreds of thousands of dollars in gross revenue, probably about $250,000 or so a year with these 3 cabins. We're dealing with hundreds of stays a year. We're dealing with thousands of messages, hundreds of maintenance requests. And so, there's a lot that goes into that. And if you had to do this all on your own, it would drive you, insane. And that's why a lot of people just hand the stuff off to a management company. They know what they're doing, right? They say they know what they're doing. And then they just sit back and collect whatever's left over of the crumbs after everyone else has taken all of the money. So what I do is I have a team and a stack of tech stuff that I use and people that are contractors that I use in order to handle all the day-to-day stuff. And the 2 most important people, really the one most important part of this, is your cleaner, your housekeeper. The second one is your handyman, the kind of do everything type of person. So if you can find a cleaner that does a very good job, is never late, is always striving to give you and your guests the best possible experience, the best possible clean place where the floors, they're not getting black stuff on their feet. There's not cobwebs. The windows are clean. The towels and stuff are all clean. You're not having complaints. And a lot of times these folks can handle a lot of your minor maintenance issues, such as batteries, remotes, smoke detectors, changing air filters, and even light maintenance type of stuff that comes along in the day-to-day of just having property, of owning houses. That's the person that you need to lean on, and that's the person that you need to essentially pay them whatever they are asking for. In most cases, you can then go ahead and just pass that on to the guest in the form of a cleaning fee. The second is your handyman. This is a person that's going to take care of all of the things that are beyond the cleaner's either ability or their time frame. Remember, these folks are probably out there cleaning 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cabins a day, and so they may not have the time to sit at your place and deal with one issue for 2 or 3 hours. And this is where you need to bring in a good handyman or handymen. So have of all of these, the cleaner you can have one, the handyman have 2 or 3 that you use and that are reliable, so that you can get one if the others are busy, which in a busy market they likely are. After that, you can build out your Rolodex as needed for your specialty items like HVAC, plumbing, roofing, anything else that you're going to need. And a lot of times you can find recommendations for those in local area specific Facebook groups, and you'll usually be able to ask a question and you'll get 5 or 6 good recommendations. You can start making some phone calls and start adding those people to your Rolodex as they work for you and you're satisfied with what they do. Technology automation is really the ace in the hole for this entire thing to work. The internet and the ability to communicate with people, it gets a lot of bad rep sometimes as far as social media and all sorts of stuff, but this is the biggest thing that you're going to need, and you absolutely have to have it, because it's going to reduce your day-to-day tasks, your day-to-day stress, and just take all of the repetitive, mind-numbing communication and scheduling and have a computer do it, and they do it automatically, and it's not that big a deal. And this is where you're going to need to use a property management software, not a property manager, but a property management software such as OwnerRez, Hospitable, Guesty. Those are the big 3. There's like a bazillion of them out there. But I use Hospitable because I feel like it's very user-friendly, and it's just sort of what I started with, and it's grown. And you can even do direct booking websites through it if you want. A lot of folks out there use OwnerRez. It's an extremely powerful tool that allows you to do a bunch of stuff, and that's kind of like Chevy and Ford right there. People are very much what they want. I really don't have an opinion. I just use Hospitable because I've been using it. But this is going to allow you to automate all of your routine messages. This is your check-in instructions, your check-out instructions. You can try to sell orphan days automatically on either side of the reservation. You can even create automated messages that are for specific requests that you get on an ongoing basis. For me, I get a lot of early check-in requests, and so I have a message that pops up because Hospitable will detect in that message that the guest sends. I assume it's AI or something, whatever magic that they do to detect that. It knows that they're asking about an early check-in. Occasionally they do miss the mark and they will send it out and it's totally not relevant to the conversation, but 99% of the time it is relevant to the conversation, and it sends out my automated check-in, early check-in message, which basically says our normal check-in time is 4 p.m., but if the cabin is ready before then, just message me when you're close, and we'll let you in. Something along those lines. I don't have it right up in front of me, but you can create those automatic things so that you can continuously reduce your workload as you notice trends pop up. It also automatically schedules or allows access to my calendars for people like cleaners, pest control, especially because they need to come in between guests, and any other people that you want to have access to your calendar. It automates messages to my cleaners as far as when we get new check-ins, new cancellations, anything like that. Anything that we need to send to the cleaners, it automatically sends them. And it also sends reminders to staff as necessary. And you can set up pretty much any sort of reminder to go to any sort of staff that you want. What I do is I have I have my cleaner give input on this. I send a check-in reminder at noon on every day that we have a check-in via email and via text. And that helps her remember when we have these things, and so that we don't miss cleans. And it may sound redundant, but the more redundancies that you build in, the less worry that you're going to have, because you know that your property management system is sending out these reminders for every single day, whether you remember to do it or not. Self-managing is more work than simply just handing it off to the property manager. And I say that with sort of an asterisk up there, because I hear a lot of folks that work with property managers still get a lot of phone calls from them, still get a lot of authorizations to do maintenance work. And so maybe it's not as much more work, especially once you get your systems fine-tuned, get your automation fine-tuned, find great contractors that you know that you can count on. There are days, and I go in and I look at my calendar and I'm like, I wonder what we have going on today. And then there might be 3 check-ins that day. I didn't have any idea about it because everything is automated at this point, a couple years into this short-term rental journey. And so I don't have to look at it. But the more work that you have to do is drastically offset by the amount of money that comes with it, because you're not paying that 30% on lower rates. You're setting higher rates. You're bringing home all of your money. Click on the links that are on the screen right now. They're going to tell you all about the types of cabins that we buy, all about how we run our Airbnb business. There's stuff in there that I have about automation, about how to block holidays, how to set your calendars up so that people can't book and have check-ins and check-outs on holidays, so that you're not burdening your cleaners. There's all sorts of good stuff in the playlist, in the channel. I appreciate you guys watching today. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Also, will show you more stuff like this. It's just the way YouTube works. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll see you on the next one.